You mentioned Boston, and the Leafs have the Bruins on Saturday night at home. And we're into that territory where now you can, every 4 or 5 games, there's going to be another biggest game of the season. Mm-hmm. And that is clearly the biggest game of the season because of what we're dealing with in terms of the standings. Tampa's likely gone, and the objective for this team is to finish second so that you get home ice. And I found it interesting, the back and forth between Babcock and Freddie and the media today, where Andersen was speaking with the media and he practiced. And he said he's not aiming at tomorrow night in Jersey, but he's preparing himself to return to the lineup on Saturday night. And you have to presume that if he does that, he's starting. He's not going to be a backup. Right. He's going to play on Saturday. And Babcock shot that down.
Yeah, he was talking Colorado.
He was talking Monday against Colorado, which I'm trying to figure out the meaning behind this or the reasoning behind it. Because Babcock is the epitome of impatient. Babcock is Mr. The nerds in the back are going to tell me when they can play.
The
and
Science
I guess
Club is going to let us
Since
know.
when does Mike Babcock go, actually give him a couple of extra days? He either knows information that we don't know, or there's something deeper to it than simply
like
two different timelines.
Power play of Freddie, you don't decide when you get back on the ice.
That's
the
my
coach decides when you get back on the ice?
That's my inclination.
Yeah.
My inclination is, really? He said he's gearing up for Saturday, huh? Well, I'll let him know. That's my inclination, and maybe a little bit of why are you looking past tomorrow night? Mm-hmm. Like you just get to circle the game that you think you're coming back on.
Why would you? Why do you question your
That's the game I
goaltender
want
in
him
public
back,
like that? Though
big game. It's the biggest game of the season, as you tweeted out today. It's
absolutely.
If feasible, if he's healthy and can do it, put him in Saturday.
Of course.
And if not, then it's Hutchison. No, because Sparks is still concussed, right?
Yeah, he didn't practice with the team. He's skating, but he's not prepared to return. I don't know when he will be. But Hutchinson is going tomorrow, and you have to believe if Freddie can't go on Saturday, it'll be Hutchinson in net again. And the Bruins won last night. They're on a heater. They're 2 back. The Leafs have a game in hand, but that's I can pretty much tell you the future. It's going to be Leafs Bruins in the first round unless something crazy happens.
That scares me.
Well, see, I was thinking about it today because they were talking about it on Leafs Lunch, and Gino asked MJ, would the players be talking about it and discussing it? And MJ brought up a great point. He said if they are based on concern, then they're defeated already. If they're sitting in Jersey at a bar tonight and they're like, man, if we play Boston, we're in big trouble, you might as well not even play. So I don't think they have that mentality. I hope they don't have that mentality. But as a fan, I'm kind of relishing the idea of that opportunity to see them hopefully knock out their arch nemesis. Because I'll bet you if you talk to Capitals
slay
fans,
the dragon sooner or
that's
later.
what I'm saying. Like Washington, you play to win the game and win the cup. If Herm Edwards. If Washington won the cup without going through Pittsburgh, they still would have partied like rock stars and been ecstatic. I think it meant more to them that they went through Pittsburgh to get it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you the fans were like, okay, we finally won a cup. That's amazing. But it was just a little bit less exciting when they simply beat Pittsburgh. Forget the cup. They beat Pittsburgh. That was the cup at that time until a month later they actually hoisted the Stanley Cup. If you're a Leaf fan, I say bring it.
But remember when they did beat Pittsburgh, though, that was a sort of another storyline was that such a huge mountain for them to overcome that was their Stanley Cup, and they're not going to have enough left to actually win the next 2 series. I mean, they ended up doing it, but that was a storyline at that time was that this series was so big and it was so emotional, and they finally did it that there wasn't going to be enough jam left.
There was fans in Washington that wanted the flag or the banner to be raised. I think they played Pittsburgh early on in the season, at the beginning of the season. They wanted them to wait
until
the
Pittsburgh
Penguins?
was there. Yeah. That's how much it meant.
Of course.
That's awesome, though. I love that. Hey,
I would have waited, too.
And that speaks to the nightmares that Pittsburgh had supplied that team and that fan base for years. But, history would suggest, and it's only 2 examples, it's not a big sample size, but it had the reverse impact, in effect, that Washington got past Pitt, and they're like, all right, now it's on. And remember the Sox in 2004, when they came back from the Yankees, they went to the World Series. I think they swept the World Series. They might have won in 5. But it was the same kind of narrative. Like, okay, they've exhausted themselves, down 3-0. They finally get over the hump. These guys are partying like that was their World Series. They're not going to have it in them. Where it had the opposite effect. It was like, okay, now we can really go out there and play. And I think they played St. Louis in the World Series, and they crushed them. And, the Caps won the Cup in 5, and I think they beat Tampa, and I don't remember how long that series went.
I don't remember.
Anyway. So
it might have been Game 7. That might have been 7 games.
Did it go 7? I can't remember what it went. But We'll talk about that throughout the afternoon.